just realized I forgot to resume the recording. So my apologies that we didn't get the first 3 slides.
No problem. And we serve families and children from birth to age 26 in 4 Northern California counties. So Marin, Sonoma, Napa, and Solano. And this is about just informational. There's about 50 school districts that we work with. And particularly in Marin County, it becomes a little confusing with the Larkspurs and the San Rafaels and the and all of those. So, so there's a lot of small districts, but we I think we work pretty much with everybody. Okay. Are you doing this? This is you now, right? Hill, or am I doing this slide?
If you want to finish up with this one, and then I'll take them through, our the different things we do. Yeah.
Okay. So how we support families is.
Hi. Oh. Could I just, as you go through this, because we missed the initial part on the recording where I had asked you the question about how the IEP and the advocacy part of Matrix works as it relates to parents, if you could just incorporate that within this so that we can make sure to have that be able to be posted, so that I think that's like a key piece of information that our parent community really appreciate.
My apologies for forgetting.
No, that's okay. Thank you.
No problem at all, as long as you don't mind hearing me again, but that's fine. So,
so
let me go ahead and just let me start. So, the way our organization works is that, and using the slide for this, that we help parents build advocacy skills, and the way we do that is by doing a number of things. We provide, first of all, trainings. We have both live trainings that we do at least a couple of times a month, and we also have archive trainings that we have on a YouTube channel and also on our website. If a parent needs more personalized service, they can call our helpline or email us on our helpline. And the way it works is that they just leave their information as much as they can, and then we get back to them, usually set up an initial appointment to do an intake. Many times we'll ask to do a file review. Sometimes we'll get a release of information to talk to a school district to be able to get information from them if the parent needs that. And then, based on our conversations and or doing a file review, we provide what's needed from that. It may be specific training, it may be going to an IEP meeting, it may be writing a letter to a school district for a parent. It may be helping with a state complaint, for instance, which is rare, but it happens occasionally. So it's really any of those services that we can provide that'll help a parent learn how to do the system by themselves. So that's our primary goal with that. And I was going to mention something else that I forgot about, but I'll think of it. There's no limit to the amount of time that we spend with a parent. I know commonly we'll spend an hour on a phone with a parent, an hour and a half. I mean, just if somebody needs to talk, we can just listen. We can provide technical advice on those phone calls. We can make suggestions. The one thing that we don't do is recommend a specific course of action. That has to be a parent's call. Or I don't know if this got recorded, but we're not attorneys. We stick to special education practice only and nothing to do with the legal field. We can advise how to access it, but we don't provide any of that sort of help. But with that said, in terms of the practice, we can look at goals, we can look at accommodations, we can help provide information to teachers at some points. There's times that I've worked directly with school districts and provided information and technical support for them. So it's really what a parent needs, and there's no limit to it. There's never any cost to it. There's never any, we don't tell you that you can't come back. So, we're available to you anytime you need it. Did that cover most of it? That I just want to make sure that
Yes. And then just in terms of if you do attend an IEP meeting, kind of what does that level of support look like? And
back to that slide.
Okay.
Where was that slide that we were talking about?
I think I kind of winged it on that. And
okay.
Maybe it was,
And it'll come up again in, I think, the next slide or two.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we go to an IEP or anything we really do, again, we're not I don't know if I said that we're not providing advocacy services. We're providing the ability for a parent to become an advocate. So any information we provide is always with, these are the options that you have. And we are not going to we're not going to tell you what option you need to choose. That's, I don't know you, I don't know your child, I don't know your circumstances. So it's important that you make the decision. Also, it fosters independence on the part of the parent by having the confidence to be able to make those decisions with support. And then, like, again, it's a teaching, practice, and then generalization model where we're there to help you practice if that's what you needed in these different settings. So, the advice we give in an IEP meeting would be this, I might say, this is what it sounds like the district is offering you. And it sounds like this is what the services are. And I maybe clarify it with the district. Okay, here's what they're saying. And then here's what your options are. If you want to think about it, we can talk about the IEP after the meeting and you can make a decision to sign it if that's what you're more comfortable with. And then, I can have it usually happens that way when I go to an IEP meeting, at least the parent decides that they'd like to think about it. And then we usually have a post IEP discussion about, what again, not the pluses and the minuses, but what the options are so that a parent can make an informed decision. And then all of my colleagues, so I have a professional background on this, but all of my colleagues are really highly trained in doing this kind of work as well. So, and they also have the advantage of being moms with kids with disabilities, that they're living this process every day. So they certainly get it from that point of view. Okay. So, we answer questions, provide resources and referrals, just a range of things, pretty much anything you can think of in terms of special education resources, discuss appropriate services at school placement. Again, that goes back to the IEP process that can explain how goals work and how that leads to services, and then with the data collected and how that leads to decisions that you need to make. And so we can, give that technical level of support, help resolve disputes at the lowest level, which is going to the person that you have the dispute with, which is always the most effective. Building effective communication and organization skills. For me, this is critical for parents because so many times they are either not prepared for an IEP or don't know what to expect, or they're so nervous about it that, it just can't, it's a very difficult thing for them to kind of function during that meeting. And so part of what we do, and again, sometimes by modeling, is how do you talk to these folks? How does this process work where you're going to get their attention and it's going to be, it's run on the basis that you want to see it run. And then we guide families through transitions, all of them, and a big push we're making in the next year. So this is like passion, certainly mine, and I think our organization is post-school transitions, kids that are going into real life from the special ed system. And so we're doing a lot of work on that right now. Okay. And I think you're going down, right, Hel?
Yeah, thanks, David.
Right. Okay. Thank you. All right.
So, the direct services that we offer are one-on-one assistance and file reviews. So that'll come in the form of, calls or emails to the helpline, and file reviews are when we go a little bit more in depth and we go through things like assessments or IEP documents or 504s to really help the parent understand the information that's in there and, help them examine where their concerns are and where these are being addressed within their IEPs or, 504s. We attend IEP meetings, as David had mentioned. And again, we're not advocates or attorneys. We are really there to help support the parent and help them convey the message that they want to in the meetings. We offer trainings, which are parent workshops on a variety of different topics, and you'll see a listing of those in a little bit. Resources, referrals, and information. We have a wealth of information on our website, and about outside agencies that we're happy to help direct parents towards. We also do offer support groups, virtual, in person, and in Spanish and in English. Next slide, please, Lisa. Our helpline. So parent advisors will answer questions, provide resources, referrals, and information. We also do file reviews, as we discussed, on school-based reports like the assessments and IEPs, including behavior plans. Our helpline is open Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We offer this service in Spanish and in English. We can do this in person, over Zoom, over the phone, and a phone call really is just the beginning. As David had mentioned, sometimes the initial phone call really does lead to, us working with the parent for several years, involving multiple IEPs, helping the parent feel, until the parent feels able and to attack this independently and come back to us, occasionally for follow-up questions. Next slide, please. Here's a sample of our training workshops. We cover transitions, everything from early start to preschool all the way through, high school to adulthood. We discuss advocacy specifically in one of our workshops. Procedural safeguards is a big one, and that one we split into two because there's so much information to cover. We do, the IEP form one page at a time to show you exactly where to find information within your IEP document. Understanding assessments, because they do a lot of different testing, and this is to help you understand how to read those results. And there's definitely more on our website. You could definitely find previously recorded trainings if you're not able to attend one live. And that's on our YouTube channel. On our website, you'll find our different publications, and including our newsletters, which we send out once a month. We have links to resources. You can find a listing of national and local resources. There's a calendar with our upcoming trainings, and additionally, other events in the area, like Sonoma is having a transition fair for high school to adulthood coming up in March. That's a big one that people like to attend. So we put events of other organizations on there as well. There's information packets and help sheets. Our information packets are usually, 5 to 10 pages on specific topics like assessment or, IEP documents. And the help sheets are really helpful one-pagers and cover very specific, small topics like what are key timelines in special education. There's also toolkits on our website that help you organize your information. And I've personally used it for our IEP toolkit before my IEPs for my children, and I've found them a great way to just visually organize the information that I want and what's important to me to ensure that I really am able to hit all my points in my IEP meetings. And we also have transition guides for preschool, kindergarten, and adulthood. We actually have a large section on transition to adulthood on our website that's got a ton of resources for us, or for transition to adulthood rather. And our website is matrixparent.org. The other programs that we do offer are, we have several other programs, for Hispanic, Latino, Spanish-speaking families in Marin, Napa, Solano, and Sonoma. We offer something called the Community Navigator Program. It's short-term case management for families underutilizing North Bay Regional Center and Golden Gate Regional Center services. So this would be families that need additional help outside of the educational process, possibly with other community resources, including the regional center. Sometimes, it's connecting them with community health partners, or, helping them find information about housing or things like that. So, but it really is short term. So it's typically not something that goes on for years. And, we kind of help them find where they're supposed to be and then hand them off to whoever their caseworker is, once we've established, a structure for them, help them establish a structure. The Service Access and Equity Program is a project leadership program. It's parent trainings for engagement on systems change, and it's a really fabulous program. It helps parents kind of hone their story and how to tell it in, like, believe it's like 90 seconds or less, so that people really understand like what they're trying to say. It hits the highlights, and explains why something is so important, and then how to take that story and take it further depending on where they want to take it, whether it's addressing school reform, or on a higher level, taking it to your local assemblyman, congressman, depending on what you want to address. It's a very interesting program, and it's well structured, and I've been very impressed with the parents that come out of it and how they speak of their own stories. Next slide, please. We also have a support group called Luna for Spanish-speaking families that have children with autism in Sonoma County. And we just started our Spanish parent caregiver support group in Marin via Zoom, and we're hoping to be able to transition that to hybrid Zoom and in-person later this year. Next slide, please. Thank you. We also do a support group for siblings. It's called Sib Shops, and within this program, it's a place for these kids to come and share their experience with other kids that really get it. And it's fun, the kids get to play games, they have snacks together. So it's not all serious all the time, but it's a good place for them to just be. It's a space for them and for to meet other kids that they can really relate to, that have shared their experience.
Can you speak to is there an age thing? I think I saw on the website.
Sure. There is, so we've run 2 different Sib shops currently. The first one is for kids ages, I believe, 8 to 12, and then the second one is for middle schoolers.
That's great.
The middle school one is new, so we're very excited about that one. And then if you go to the next slide, we've got also something that we're starting on Monday called Youth Talk, and it's a youth-driven space for teens ages 14 to 18. So, the Sib shops cover ages, 8 to 14, and this is for the older kids who maybe have like much more to say about their own lived experiences. And Monday is our first one at the Multicultural Center in San Rafael.
That's amazing. And then is there a virtual option for that too, or is it just in person?
Right now, it's just in person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. That's great. The Sib shops is amazing too.
And is there anything in the works for slightly older than that? I'm just thinking of like a board member who I think her daughter's like 19, 20, is there anything in the works or is that already that needs sort of being attended to elsewhere that you maybe know of as a resource?
Yeah, sure. So for the slightly older group, I'm not entirely sure. I do know Marin's Center for Independent Living. That's, that's kind of like the next step, right? Once they kind of graduate out of school and transition into adulthood, then parents tend to take their families from parent training and information centers to, independent living centers. So that's one thing. The other thing I do know of, for parents of kids in that age group is that Dedication to Special Education does have a parent group, support group for parents that have kids transitioning into adulthood. Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. And I think that's it. Any other questions? We're happy to hang around and chat.
Is it okay if I jump in with a question real quick? This is Jamie.